Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, see there the big red letters? That's Alex, that's me, and it's the Ramble. And we go till midnight tonight. Hi everybody, I'm just trying to prevent myself from getting COVID, and so I won't be underdressed when we bring this other person in here. Let me see here, what do we got? There we go. Okay, let me see here. I gotta do this. There we go. And I thought you were gonna wear yours.
I was waiting for you to put yours on.
Oh, I see. Okay, we have matching. See, now if Phil told me to go out and buy these.
Yeah.
Because they prevented your glasses from.
They weren't as
I got news for you. Watch this.
Yeah.
See, they got all blurred up.
No, they're not blurry.
No, but they also don't fit my face well.
Why is that?
I don't know. Because if I start talking, happens.
Oh, lift it up higher.
I know. I lifted it up higher, and then it got too much down here. The trouble is, they don't make these things for people with beards.
Yeah.
You know, and so consequently, they keep falling off. Now you see. Now let me get one of the normal ones. Hold on a second.
Oh, you're all tangled up.
Oh, now I'm all. Look at this. Like, there's another reason I can't do it. Right? Okay. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
If I
Hold on.
push my chin,
Hold
I
on.
can kind of get it to come down.
Yeah. Come on.
You actually
Jeez
have
almighty.
to try to do that.
There we go. Okay, now let me get where are one of my other ones here? I have had another one here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, now you see these.
Yeah.
These they stay on just fine. No matter what I do, they don't go anywhere. See, I mean.
Well, they're tighter. Look at your ear. You're pulling it halfway across Fifth Avenue.
What? What?
Your right ear. You're pulling it halfway across Fifth Avenue. It's so tight.
It's not that.
Yep,
It's
your
not
right
that,
ear.
It's not that tight.
Yeah.
No.
Look at your ear.
I just didn't. Well, I guess a little bit, but I don't care.
Who's the guy on our gang that had the ear?
So I look like Mr. Spock.
Okay, no, they're not pointy.
Anyway.
Hey, it's Tuesday. It must be Phil and Alex.
It must be Phil and Alex. Yeah. Boy, let me put. Can we dispense with the masks? Is that possible?
My sister
tested
positive. My sister tested positive for COVID.
Did she really?
Yeah. And my mom lives in her house.
Oh boy.
And my mom's going to be 92 on the 9th.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, my mom's in great shape.
You know, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. It is that age brings with it certain weaknesses which this virus plays upon. But anyway, has your mother taken a test?
No, she feels fine. She's in a different section of the house. It's a big house, and she's got her own wing, and so she just has it. My sister hasn't come out of her room. It's been 7 days. She's quarantining, and she said yesterday she felt like she had the flu, but other than that, she's asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. Okay. Well, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I think I went out for 5 minutes yesterday up to the drugstore, and that was it. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's you're going into a den of sickness because everybody else that's sick is going to the drugstore to get whatever they need to feel better and spread the disease.
Oh, no, there was hardly anybody there.
Yeah.
But today, Marjorie pissed me off today because what she did, she had to go to she had to go to the dentist to get her teeth cleaned.
Yeah.
All right. She takes the bus home.
Well, that's better than the subway, I guess.
But yeah, she said there were only two other people on the bus, but I just don't think you take any chances now. You know.
You know, it's like when you get a new car and you park in a parking lot far away from everyone else, and there's only two cars in the parking lot, and where does the other car park?
Right next to yours.
Right. Well, it's the same thing on the bus. She
Yeah.
gets on the bus. There's two people on the bus. Where does the other person sit and sneeze?
Yeah.
Right next.
I mean, I feel like crap all the time anyway. So, because my eyes are always burning and I'm sniffling all the time. This has gone on for months. This is not just, right now. So,
Yeah, I understand. You know, I felt warm, and like I didn't feel that good, but it goes away.
well, I get feeling warm, but then I take my temperature and I'm well under,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
So I'm not, I take it twice, well, three times, well, maybe 5, 6 times a day.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, but I'm always tired. I'm just absolutely exhausted. I think about doing the show for an hour and a half, then I go, I hope I can get through it.
Well, I have a feeling from what I read, it's the radiation. A side effect of it is you're tired.
This far along? I mean, that was back in March, right?
Yeah, I think so. Matter of fact, I didn't start feeling tired until several months afterwards. Let's see,
Yeah.
I ended in July, and here it is December, and now I'm getting the fatigues.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because I had twice the radiation you did. Okay, because you had just the regular radiation, and then I had the radiation plus then I had the seeds,
Right.
which was the second form of radiation. So I guess I'm pretty tired.
Yeah. Well, it takes its toll.
So I got a call from my urologist today.
Oh.
Oh, I haven't seen in a year, and his secretary or nurse or whoever said the doctor would like to see you. He was just for a checkup, because the urologist. Once I started going to the oncologist, I didn't even go back to see the urologist, and quite frankly, it has been a year, and I'm sure he had something that went, "Oh, Alex hasn't seen you in a year, so you should go back in."
Now, with me, they're not going to explore my digitally, tell me to bend over. But with you, you've still got a prostate. So
Well, yeah, but if he goes in there and he digitally inspects me, he might cut his finger
see,
on the seeds. Yeah, So anyway, but then I suddenly I listened to the message, the original message she sent before I called her back, and she said, "So the doctor would like to see you, or we could do a televisit." So I told her I didn't want to go in because of the COVID's out there. It's lurking. It's trying to get me.
Yeah.
And I said, but I imagine I can do it. And then I heard her message, and the message said we could do a televisit. So I'm calling her back tomorrow and say, if you can do a televisit, that's what I'm doing.
all the televisit does is put one more block in front of seeing the doctor. What's he going to see in a televisit?
No, he's probably just going to ask me. He's probably going to ask me a bunch of questions, and I can tell him that I've had my PSA taken, and recently, about 2 months ago, and it came out 0.
Right.
So, and I had one before that was 0.02. So
That's pretty low.
that's pretty low. It's like I don't have a prostate at all.
Yeah.
You should have the 0. I should have like a 0.5 or something.
I don't get
Folks,
0.
I know you don't know what we're talking about, and we don't give a shit. Okay?
I don't get zeros. I get less than 0.01.
Oh, okay.
And then they say non-detectable.
Non-detectable, yeah, because you don't have a prostate. So obviously, if they're trying to detect the prostate in you, there's no reason they can. Folks. What are we talking about? You don't care. You don't care that we've got this. That had prostate cancer and I had prostate cancer.
And if you call the show, you'll get prostate
It's
cancer.
like Oprah. You got prostate cancer, and you've got prostate cancer. Yeah. Wow.
No, it's for you.
Yeah. It's just one of those niggling little things that happen to old men. Okay? So,
I wasn't so
anyway.
old.
Huh?
I wasn't that old. They detected it at 62. I'm 66 now.
Yeah, the reason why they cut yours out and they got really serious about it was because, and it's always the case with people like your age, that they decide that it's a pretty good idea if they just don't take any chances at that age, because it could be more aggressive.
Yeah, they offered me radiation or removal, and I ended up having to get both.
Really?
Yeah, because they removed it, and then a year and a half later, there were some errant little cells running around. I gather that's what happened to Ronnie, is that when they took care of her pancreatic cancer, and that was successful, there must have been some errant cells, and it metastasized in their lung and liver and other things.
Yeah, well, what the hell. Anyway, so how have you been otherwise?
I've been okay, although we're in a lockdown again. California, even though the ICU rate wasn't where they said it needed to go in order to have a lockdown, they have been preemptively locking down restaurants, and there's a lot of hypocrisy going on in California.
Well, I don't know that it's hypocrisy, Phil. It is, let's face it. I think you'll agree this is a pretty deadly affliction, right?
It is for certain classes.
No. Forget about that. You don't know whether you're that person or not that person. I mean, people they say are perfectly healthy, and sometimes they've been like 28-year-olds.
Well, I am that person,
Yeah.
But
I know that the way I know that if I got it, I probably would get a bad case of it. Okay? That's why I'm making sure I'm being especially safe.
Now, Rudy Giuliani has it.
Yeah.
Right. Do we have any reports as to how he's faring?
He's supposedly doing just fine, which is really bothering a lot of us.
Did they give him the same things they gave the president?
No.
He didn't get all of those extra little treatments?
Yeah, they asked him, where does it hurt? And he stuck his hands down his pants. So, I don't know. I wish I could feel sorry for Rudy Giuliani, but
hey, he had prostate cancer.
Yes, I know. The guy who put the seeds in him put the seeds in me.
I'll bet he did.
Yeah. Saved Rudy's life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're thankful for that.
Well, yes, I am.
Because he's been such a good lawyer.
And a loyal friend, too.
Yes, but a real good lawyer during all of this. I don't think he has won a single appeal, has he?
Well, I don't know that he will. Obviously they are looking at the amount of votes it would take to change the election, and the amount of votes that may be fraudulent or improper. It's
well, you heard about the Supreme Court tonight.
Yeah. Now that wasn't Pennsylvania. That was Supreme Court isn't going to take.
It was about Pennsylvania. About the Pennsylvania case, they had appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "We're not going to take it."
Right.
There's no case here. We're not going to take it.
That's fine. It's just that Trump has the right, and I am glad that he's exercising it to make sure that the election is fair. We are not.
Zimbabwe. But Phil, that isn't the reason he's doing this. He's looking for every way he could possibly win this thing. He doesn't care about our democracy, and the democracy has not been served by this election because I was robbed. He wasn't robbed.
He wasn't robbed. But there is a number of whistleblowers, and there's a number of people.
No, I saw those whistleblowers. They were completely like those people in Michigan. Some of them were just nutcases.
Well, that's what you say, but they've sworn affidavits that that this was true, and it should be investigated. You know, this in our country, we've always had a lot of uh, uh, we've relied on the fact that our
Mm.
elections were free and fair, and if they're not, and there's a chance that it has been tarnished, we need to correct that.
Phil,
We
Phil,
we're
Phil,
shining light on the whole
Phil,
world when
Phil,
it comes to elections.
admit something. We liberals, I say liberals as a we only because I don't consider myself a liberal. I consider myself a lefty, but I say we because I want that umbrella, are really a bunch of pussies. Do you think we're capable of fixing an election? No, the Republicans are really good at that, but we're not.
You know, anybody's capable of anything. And, they have said in Georgia, oh, Republicans, don't go out and vote. This is a fixed election. They're trying
No, but,
to
but the Republicans are saying that, Phil. It's not Democrats.
sometimes
It
Republicans
huh?
that, say stupid things too, just like Democrats. But I believe that what they're trying to do
Mhm.
is they're trying to cause people to say, oh, well, let's give up. A lot of people say, hey, Trump is lost. Why not just face facts? Because
Well,
he has.
let me throw this at you, Phil. I mean, it's one thing to say, well, I want to exhaust every possible thing I can to make sure that I did lose. But the problem with that is that he is also denying the future president the ability to have access to materials and to parts of the government that he needs to have access to be able to hit the ground running once he becomes president. And one of those things happens to be the whole COVID thing. He says, "Oh, I'm not going to make him aware of any of the COVID stuff until it's official." Well, come on. We need to
I,
have him. And on top of that, this is the president who turned down a larger amount of the vaccine from Pfizer. So that
I,
Pfizer told them way back when they were ordering them up, we'd like to give you a chance at getting, I think, another 10 million or whatever the amount of doses were. And we and the Trump administration turned it down. And now that has been allocated to other countries. And we're not going to get any more of the Pfizer until about April or June. April or May, rather.
AstraZeneca Oxford, or is it Pfizer Oxford?
Oh, it's Pfizer. I can't remember the name of it. It's another company. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
the
Pfizer. It's the Pfizer. It's the one that's going to be okayed probably tomorrow and out on the streets by Monday.
the UK, a 90-year-old woman
I
took
know.
the Pfizer
I know.
vaccine yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
We know that. But
now,
the thing is that we could have ordered up more, and we were told, if you want it, we're happy to make you first on the list, okay? And the Trump administration said, nah, you don't need to do that. And so therefore, they then allocated about another how many millions and millions of doses to other countries.
well,
So they're ahead of us now in being able to get it over us, who are only going to get, like, I don't know how many, 10 million, something like that, 10 million doses, something like that.
but
Hmm?
I know that what's the one that starts with an M?
Moderna.
They're ramped up to produce a lot more. But Biden said the other day, and he must not be getting these briefings, because this is what he said. The Pfizer vaccine has to be stored at like minus
Mm-hmm.
100.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He said, how are they going to get it into the needles? And
Well, I mean, that's a good question. The answer to that is that it only has to be at that temperature and then you have to be able to get it into the needles and into the arms within 5 hours.
Correct.
So you let it defrost.
Right.
I mean,
said, the Trump administration, they have this vaccine. It's going to be 100 degrees below zero. How are you going to get it in the needles?
no, well, he wasn't complaining about Pfizer, he was just saying it's a problem. It's really a problem of distribution. That's the big problem there.
They come with their own refrigerators.
No, they come with stuff that keeps them frozen until they are taken out of the box and put in a refrigerator.
I thought
No,
it was
no. It's a box, and there are 5 levels of these things, and then on top is a thing of dry ice and a GPS and temperature gauge to let them know if the temperature goes below a certain amount while it's traveling. Okay. Then once it gets to the hospital, it's put in a 95 degree below a 95 below refrigerator, and then it's used as needed. Yeah.
well, I guess that dry ice when they're done with it, they could use it at rock concerts.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, use it to make horror films. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I mean, it's just terrible that we did not take them up on the offer for more, because. And by the way, you can't use the excuse that this was just being developed, because believe it or not, this particular drug has been around for, I hear, 15 years, something like that.
What were they treating with?
They weren't treating anything. They were developing it for just something like this. And then when this hit, they said, batch number 20, that probably could do it. And they tested it, and it worked.
Well, we got a better deal than those other countries. COVID-18, that was 50% off.
Yeah, that was 50% off
at first.
I mean, it's just that it's kind of sad that we didn't order more, and so we're not going to get any more of the Pfizer once we run out of the Pfizer that we have now, that we have available to the hospitals now. That's it until like May. We don't get any more. We'll be able to get the Moderna. We'll be able to get the Oxford. The Oxford one's supposedly pretty good, and some of the AstraZeneca is another company. Yeah, but what happened is that it's going to be there are a lot of different versions. I think I would much rather have the one where there's one where you only have to have one shot.
That's Moderna.
That's Moderna is the one shot, and they don't have to store it in cold temperatures. I think that is vastly superior to the Pfizer, but I think the Pfizer with 2 shots has a higher percentage of what do you call it? Working.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 95% or more.
Yeah. Well, the way they're going to roll these things out, and in the quantities that they're able to do it logistically, maybe it didn't pay to get more until May.
Well, the only argument that I would give Trump credit for is that at that point they didn't know whether this one would work or not, but they were pretty sure it was going to work. It was already considered to be the front runner in the whole thing. And certainly, if you order a whole batch and then you don't use it because you find that it doesn't work, you're going to get your money back. They're not going to.
The deal that Trump made them was, we're going to give you the money to buy these things, whether it works or not. Start developing the distribution and the production.
Well, no, they had nothing to do with the development. The government warp speed had zero to do with the
start producing, and and get ready to distribute, and we'll pay you for it whether it works or not.
So just quickly, do you agree with those people who think we should call this the Trump vaccine?
Sure.
Oh, come on, Phil. Come on.
T on the front of the vial.
Yeah. Big gold T. Right. Yeah, right, on each one. Oh, man. I can hardly wait till he's out of there. And once he's out of there, I just want him to shut the fuck up.
Well, okay? He's not going to. This is...
And neither are you. Neither are you. Of course not.
He's got a bully pulpit.
Yeah.
He's got 74 million people that supported him.
Well, that doesn't mean 74 are going to follow him.
I think
No,
his
no, no.
well than Biden's,
Hmm?
and most of them are still alive, unlike the ones that voted for
Oh
Biden.
yeah, well there are a lot of dead people that voted for Biden. I'm one of them.
Yeah,
So, you know. But
you told me you voted for Trump.
hmm?
You told me you voted for Trump.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
I ratted you out.
Right, ratted me out. No, I'm sorry. I would shoot myself if I voted for him. I would feel very guilty if I voted for him. But you got to admit it. He lost, right?
Uh,
Oh, come on. Don't be like some of those Republican senators. He lost.
well, we'll see. You
Hmm.
know, hey, if he says I lost, and if
Hmm.
he says I'm done, and he concedes, they don't look any further because he's done. He concedes, it's all over. But if he doesn't concede,
Hmm.
then they're going to continue to look, and they're going to find those votes in fields
Yeah, well,
and
don't you know? Don't you know that one of the stories was that I think it was North Korea faked ballots and then shipped them to Maine, and then they were offloaded there and spread out to the rest of the United States. Why, if you were in North Korea, you would go to Maine instead of California is beyond me. It's not
oh,
as
their
close.
missile guidance system wasn't so good, and they missed.
Yeah, something like that. Hey,
They
listen, we got to go because there are going to be people who want to talk here.
Okay. Well,
So,
and you do know that I did donate to the Cancer Society. Did you get the?
I know you did. I know you did, and I told our
Rob,
friend
or not Rob, Robert.
Robert that, and so yeah,
All right.
congratulations. But that was nice of you to do. I
It
think.
was my pleasure. Plus, it was nice of Robert to suggest that it go to the Cancer Society. I was happy to send it to you to send to him. But what are you going to do?
Hey, you could have sent it to me, and I would have spent it. Anyway,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen, there he is. Wave goodbye, Phil. See you
Goodbye,
later.
Phil.
There we go. There goes Phil. There he goes. He's gone. And let me see here. Let me get rid of him here. Oh, I already did. He hung up. So I don't I need to do anything. Let me see here. Let me go to my Zoom panel. Okay, and we will start admitting everybody into the Zoom panel so we can see what's happening here. And we have, let's see here, we have Phil Stein, and we have, let me see here, we have Charlie Wallace, and we have Brian Neary, and we have Trucker Steve and his sidekick, Rocky. Of course, you're not in the truck right now, are you, Trucker Steve?
Well,
Huh?
no, I got home this morning.
Yeah, yeah. And so Rocky is probably asleep somewhere, right?
He's upstairs with my wife.
Now, does
And
Rocky like traveling like that? He must, otherwise you wouldn't
yeah,
take
he
him
does. Yeah.
everywhere. Uh-huh.
But he's a mama's boy, so he's up with mommy.
Okay. Where is Brian going? Oh, I thought you were. Did you lose something there, Brian?
My ambiance. Have my lights on.
Oh, you got the blue lights in back. Isn't that sexy? Hello, Robert. We haven't seen you for a couple of nights, but glad to have
How
you
are you
here.
guys?
Glad to have you here.
Glad to be
Oh,
here.
Charlie's on. I thought you'd be watching your Cowboys.
Yeah, right. I
That's
like
a tough
last
one.
that
minute.
dagger, sticking a dagger in the heart.
It's interesting. Sorry to take over the conversation real quick, but interesting. This guy at work. We were chatting a little bit. He had the Eagles. He has the Eagles sweatshirt on. His brother he works for us, but his brother is the one of the receiver coaches for the Eagles. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. I don't know anything about this.
I know, I wasn't
I don't know
sorry.
about this stuff. All I know is Ohio isn't playing because they
Ohio
all have
State.
COVID,
Right.
which is a great way if you're the other team of claiming a win. So anyway. So anyway, how you doing, Robert?
I'm good. How's everybody?
Yeah, I'm tired as usual. I don't know. Just Phil may be right. It could be. He says he's having the same problem because of the perhaps the radiation that we have, and that
Touch
could
of the cancer.
how that could be what I'm
Your
feeling.
touch of the cancer.
The touch of the no. I'm hope I don't have the cancer any longer. So. But I mean, they never say you're cured. They always say you're in remission or something like that. Who is Alan? Let's see who this is. I wonder if this is somebody we already know who's just using the name Alan. Let me see here. That's Alan. Hello, Alan. Do we know you? Alan, can you hear us?
Audio.
Yeah.
It's Alan.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
Good. Long-time viewer, first-time caller.
Oh, okay. Well, let's all applaud him, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just.
Thank you.
Yes. Alan, where are you calling from?
Fremont, California.
Ah, Fremont, California. So you're down near. Is he near you, Brian? Yeah. Brian, is he near
I
you?
froze up.
Huh?
I froze up.
Where's Brian?
Brian's in. Where are you, Brian? I forget.
Almeda Valley, San Jose.
Oh, there's Brian. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he's across the water from you.
Where you at, Brian?
And San Jose, Almeda Valley.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know that area.
Where are you? Where are you from?
In Fremont, near
Oh,
Auto
yeah.
Mall.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the facilities we're opening is in Newark, right there off of the freeway. Yeah.
Right on.
You know what always amazed me is that in California, I suddenly realized that one day there are a lot of towns they named after New York names or East Coast names. Newark is a good example of that. There were a few others that I've come across from time to time. If I had a map in front of me, I could tell you all of them. But I just go, what happened? A bunch of people came out to California and they were missing the East Coast, so they said, we'll name this town Newark. You know. Now, Fremont, of course, is named after
John C.
Fremont, who was wasn't he the first governor of California?
Something like that.
I believe, yeah. Yeah, and I think at one time ran for president of the United States as well. I learned that all in my school in California. Yeah.
And the area of Fremont, Niles Canyon.
Niles
And that's
Canyon.
where you did all the black and white, right? All the films back then.
Oh, Niles, yeah. Well, of
Before
course.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Niles
Charlie
too.
Chaplin
Well, that's
and
where
everybody.
Charlie Chaplin worked out of. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Before Hollywood.
All the silent films.
yeah. And let me see here. But I'm trying to remember. There's some other towns there, like out in the East Bay. I'm trying to remember some of the names that are just the same as names here. So,
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin.
huh?
Silent movies, Charlie Chaplin
Yep,
Yeah.
in Niles. Before Hollywood.
yep.
Yeah.
And I think the first maybe 12 pictures that Charlie Chaplin made were all made in Niles for that company, which was, what was the name of it? Oh God, I'm forgetting so much lately. Who am I? I don't.
Yeah, that's a nice little area. They have a car show like 2 times a year, and they have it right where they have like a little downtown with all these antique stores, and it's right near the train tracks. And that Alex, did you used to say that they used to take the trains down back to LA or something? They used to use those trains to go back and forth for after they were done filming or something. I thought you were saying something.
Well,
like that,
no,
but-
all I remember when I was a kid was that the ferry building had a ferry that went over to Oakland, and that's where you picked up the train to go to LA or to go up or whatever. The Southern Pacific ran out of there. And so you would take the ferry across, and then you would get on a train. That was your
I don't know
first
about
step.
trains.
No trains went through San Francisco.
Yeah.
No trains. But they did go through the East Bay. And, so anyway, well, good to have you here, Alan.
Thank you. I happen to know somebody that you know.
Okay, and who would that be?
Your first guest of the night from 7 to 7:30 California time.
Phil.
Phil Meyer.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
We are good friends. He
Mhm.
told me about your show. I find it interesting. I've watched other ones that are a little bit more exciting without super Republicans on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Are you a Republican?
No, I'm a Democrat that actually voted for Trump.
That actually, now there is
Wow.
well, there are questions to be asked, aren't there, Alan?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, did you vote for him this time, or did you vote for him the first time, or did you vote for
No.
him both times?
Just this time, 2020.
Now, okay, so you weren't compelled to vote for him in 2016, so you must have voted for Hillary, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so why did you vote for, after what I consider to be a terrible job of being president, failing the audition, as it were?
Well, the guy's an idiot. We all know that. But I don't know, because he's done well with the economy,
Has he?
and that's about it.
The economy,
What's that?
the economy right now sucks.
We got
I don't know.
22
My stock
million people
portfolio is
unemployed.
doing
22 million people unemployed is sucks.
Yeah, but that's not his fault. That's COVID's fault.
That's
Well,
his
wait a minute,
fault
wait a minute,
for
wait a
the
minute.
way he's mishandled COVID.
Because he mishandled COVID. Yeah.
Oh, definitely mishandled COVID.
So then the economy was his problem.
Okay. Blame it on him.
I'm not getting on your case here.
Oh, it's okay.
I'll let Robert do that.
I have thick skin. So I go shooting with Phil.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Have you ever wanted to just like maybe clip him in the leg or something?
Turn sideways.
Do a what was the vice president that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You talking about Trump or Phil?
Phil.
Either one.
No, Phil's too good of a guy. I wouldn't want to injure Phil.
Now, let me ask you this question, because he's not here now, and we've never had anybody who could give us the scoop on this, because he talks a lot about guns and how he goes to shooting ranges and how he loves guns and so on and so forth. Is he any good?
He's a great shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I feel totally safe next to him.
Really? Okay. Because when I was in the Navy, one of the things we had to do was shoot. Okay, and so I went out to the range and I shot, and I did so well they called me a sharpshooter.
Wow, that's great.
And
That's great.
Yeah, but I hate guns.
But it's easy.
I hate guns.
It's easy to hit a target that's 100 feet out with a rifle.
Mhm.
It's not so easy to hit a target that's 50 feet out with a pistol.
And it's even harder to hit somebody who's right next to you shooting, but I'm not suggesting anything.
Well, no, I wouldn't do that. But, Phil and I are good friends,
I know.
and he's a good guy. And there are some other people up there. I mean, one guy shot himself in the leg and claimed that his shirt caught in the trigger.
His shirt.
But
Really?
he's okay, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, good to have
But
you
you know
here,
what?
Alan.
I mean,
What?
we go shooting.
Mhm.
We go shooting, and we shoot not only at the target, but we shoot on the move. And so we're all moving together, back, forward, side to side. And that's where it gets really, really dangerous.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, we've been joined by Kevin Stopper, who, by the way, I think has a longer beard than yours.
Who's
He's in
Kevin?
Hollister. Kevin's in Hollister.
Kevin's in Hollister. Yeah.
Hollister. I know where that's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earthquake capital of the
Listen,
state.
to you people in California, and there are 3 of you here, right? Yeah, 3 of you here. Let me ask you a question. Every now and then, they talk about the fires out in California, and then they name a town that's on fire. And I go, I lived in California all my life. I never heard of that town. Do you have the same problem that they'll say, oh, such and such is on fire? And you go, where the hell is that?
Nah.
That's what Google's for, to look it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've driven in probably all of them.
Really? Because
Paradise. Paradise was one.
I never heard of Paradise until I heard that Paradise was burning, which is kind of
I had family
weird.
there.
Huh?
I had
Paradise
family
is
there.
no longer paradise.
Yeah, no. And didn't it burn twice? It came the next year, burned again?
And
I don't know.
Magalia, a town
Yeah.
called Magalia, is right near it.
Yeah.
Really?
And
See?
when
I live in
when Trump was
California all
there-
my life. I never, you know.
when Trump was there, he called it pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But he was
So
thinking
I said pleasure was the stripper.
Yeah.
Paradise was the city.
He was thinking about her.
So, Robert, I haven't been with us for a couple of nights. What do you think about everything that's happening? Is it all going like you expected?
Yeah, yeah, and
So don't make assumptions that Phil's not watching.
no, that's fine with me. I know he's watching. That's fine with me. That's not going to intimidate me at all.
He knows that it's my first time coming on, so he may.
That's fine. That doesn't matter either way. Yeah, I think nothing that's happened surprises me. In fact, it's a lot of what I predicted, and I'll go further. If you think the Republicans on Capitol Hill are going to go against Trump, you're sadly mistaken, because they're deathly afraid of the two races in Georgia. And the last thing on earth they need is for Trump to get sideways with them and decide that he's going to kick up his heels and tell his own supporters in Georgia not to vote for the two Republican candidates. Would you put it past them, even if they get sideways with him, that he comes out and supports the two Democrats? I don't think he's
something,
loyal
but
Republican at all.
But would he do that though? I mean,
yes.
You really think I know he's vindictive,
Oh, yeah.
but is he that vindictive?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I think that's what's holding the Republicans at bay.
Well, he went down there this weekend to campaign for them, and then gave a hour-and-a-half speech on how he got robbed of the election.
Yeah, he pissed and whined.
He didn't really do.
2 hours.
He didn't
I
really
watched
do.
it all.
He didn't do much to endorse them or to give a good reason for people to vote for them.
No.
He was there for almost 2 hours, and
Probably
2
good
hours
that
and
he
50
didn't
minutes
endorse
of
them.
it
That would
was
be a death sentence to them.
Yeah.
2 hours and 50 minutes of it was him bitching about the election, and 10 minutes of it scattered about was
Yeah.
campaigning for Loeffler and what's her name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still waiting for actual evidence that the election was off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there
And
hasn't
the SCOTUS
been.
kind of trashed all that today.
Listen, by the way, I started to add up all the bad luck that Rudy Giuliani has had.
Oh no, he's had good luck. He's in the hospital dying, thank God. There is a God.
No, he's not dying though.
Oh, that's too bad.
He's supposedly okay, but first of all, they catch him with his hand down his pants.
Yes.
In the Borat movie, and then the
Hilton, the landscaping company.
Hilton situation, where it was a landscaping company and not a Hilton hotel.
Four Seasons.
And then
Four Seasons, yeah.
Yeah.
Then his next piece of bad luck was, well, in Michigan, he was testifying and he farted.
Yeah.
I mean, it never stops for this guy. And then he comes down with COVID, and there was
the hair dye.
Oh, the hair dye thing
COVID
too.
to everybody involved.
Yeah, he was
5 states.
He was oozing maple syrup. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't he just get up one day and say, "I don't think I better go in public any longer"? I mean, it just doesn't get any better. Yes, Jeff, turn on your mic. Turn on your mic. There we go.
Just remember, he used to be Mr. 9/11.
Yeah, he was America's mayor.
That's right.
This is America's mayor because he was there during 9/11 and did everything that was right. Oh, except for putting all the gasoline for the city's supply in one of those buildings.
World Trade Center, yeah.
When they told him, if you're going to put the gasoline anywhere, put it out in Brooklyn or out in Queens where it's away from Midtown. But he didn't. He put it there in what was World Trade Center 9, I think it's called. And it blew up. And guess why it caught fire? Gasoline. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a kick earlier out of Phil saying, well, it's not official yet because there are people who'll swear and testify that there was this, that, and the other thing that went wrong. Well, I could get 5 people in 20 minutes to swear that Bill Bixby, created the heavens and the earth. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
that's
saw what happened in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
what happened in Michigan now. Besides, Giuliani farting and almost taking out the entire state.
Well, they that hearing, one of the assembly women, the black assembly lady, has been harassed to no end and been getting racist phone calls for trying to get them to testify under oath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they weren't allowing them to testify under oath. And so now she got all these harassing phone calls over the last few days, literally nasty KKK type phone calls, and she's being nailed for this stuff. And it's really bad stuff. I don't even want to talk about it on the, bad stuff. And then did you see the other thing down in Florida where they raided that data scientist home for the one that's putting together all the COVID the COVID numbers on the side against DeSantis.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily against DeSantis, it's putting together more real numbers, I guess she was doing.
Yeah.
And she sent, she was covering some health people's stuff.
Yeah.
And
they asked her
publishing
to,
it.
they asked her to take.
They
asked
took
her to
all
take
her
the-
equipment, but didn't arrest anybody. It was like this freaking Nazi.
Why did they arrest her?
No, they took her.
They didn't
phone.
arrest her. They took all her equipment and
They
took
took-
everything, all her thumb drives and all her equipment, and took it all away, and then left her there.
And why?
This is the lady that was asked to change how they record the data.
Yeah,
So she,
that's
so
couldn't
instead
put it
of
out.
collecting the data like they had been all this time, they were asked, because the numbers were going a little skewed, they asked her to take the data and organize it a different way.
Mhm.
And so the big thing there is they didn't take the modems and stuff. They actually took her phone. They wanted to see who her contacts were.
well, they took all the thumb drives and her computers too.
Yeah.
What are they trying to do? Keep the numbers artificially low in Florida then?
Yeah,
back
DeSantis
then.
fired her for not doctoring the numbers.
That's about
Yeah.
5 or 6 months ago.
Wow. How?
I don't know why they're going after her now.
Yeah.
And I heard that they were pointing, the state troopers were pointing guns in the kids' faces, her kids.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
God forbid somebody should want to figure out what's going on health-wise down in Florida.
Yeah, and DeSantis is saying, I don't know nothing.
Yeah. How's it going in your state? Patrick Blasek has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Patrick.
He's
Hey,
our
Pat.
he's our very own elf on the shelf, and he's got 2 baby Yodas or whatever.
Three.
What?
3.
Well, no, the one in the back is a real Yoda, isn't it? What do you got in the back? You got 2 baby Yodas.
Regular Yoda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who's now his name is
Greener.
Huh? But he also has a name now. He's not he's not Baby Yoda anymore. He's like Gorgu or something like that.
Grogu.
Huh?
Grogu.
Grogu. So anyway, how you doing, Patrick? How's everything in your neck of the woods?
It could be better, but who's gonna bitch?
Well, you could. I mean,
Doesn't get you anywhere.
how's the death rate in your area? Not good, right?
It is what it is. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I like Robert's state because he's making us look good.
Yeah.
We only had 74 deaths yesterday.
Dr. Death has his hand up.
Yes, Dr. Death. Yes, Charlie. How many deaths have you had there in Texas?
Oh, we had 182 today, but in the country we had 2496, which comes out to I mean, one dead American every 35 seconds. So during the show, we've lost about, what, 80, 85 Americans?
We better stop the show.
Yeah, we better stop the show because one of you might drop off. You know, we can't have that happen. I don't know. I just, you know, it's. I'm afraid to go out there.
1 million cases every 5 days.
Yeah, doctor calls me a day, wants to have me come over to see him. I'm going.
Alex, don't worry, Alex. It's only killing Republicans.
Yeah, right, right. Well, the reason is because the Republicans aren't wearing masks.
Yeah,
because they've turned
that's
it into a political issue. Now, you're wearing a mask, aren't you, Alan, when you're out?
Absolutely. I got one that Phil recommended.
Oh, yeah, this is this one, the one that keeps
Ooh,
falling
all
off.
matching now.
I got it on.
It
works good.
Yeah, but the trouble is,
It won't stay on my face. And as long as it's not on my face, it doesn't steam up my glasses.
see, I mean, I got, well, now that's falling off.
right.
Let me see here.
That's right.
There we
I
go.
am right now.
But the problem I have is because I have this big Jewish nose.
That's right.
And when I'm talking, it either goes up or
It makes you look younger, Alex.
well, of course, that's the one great thing about this has been a boon, by the way, for ugly people. Okay?
Absolutely. And Democrats. Democrats are buying them like crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
My friends have been telling me to wear a mask for 20 years. I guess they saw this disease coming.
yeah. I would have thought by now they would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Technologically, they would have come out with better masks. But really, when you get down to it, this is the gold standard right here.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
it makes you feel good, but it doesn't protect you at all.
No, it does protect you. Actually, this has like three layers of protection.
So the surgical mask is made to protect others,
Mm-hmm.
and if they wear one, they're protecting you, so you protect each other.
Yeah. Well, actually, my feeling is that what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did during the AIDS thing. I'm going to wear a condom over my head, and that should take care of it. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, I was watching a documentary the other day on Reagan and on his whole kind of non-handling of the AIDS crisis. You know, it took him a while before he came around.
Yes.
And they kept showing doctors, you know, who were talking about the AIDS crisis during that part of the documentary.
Right.
And there was a young Dr. Fauci.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Wow, really?
Well, he was the guy who came up with with the cocktail, didn't he? For
The treatments.
I don't know. I don't know who came up with it, but
the treatment.
it wouldn't surprise me. He's a smart guy.
He's been around for
He's
a
one of the
long
smartest
time.
guys in the world when it comes to this type of stuff. And too bad the Republicans don't listen to him.
Well, he's the go-to guy,
including Trump.
Yeah. I mean, early on he said don't wear a mask, but the reason he said don't wear a mask was because there weren't any masks available for the hospitals, and so he didn't want everybody running out and hoarding masks.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you.
But after they were available everywhere, he said wear a mask, and he stuck with that. But anyway, it's nice to see that Biden has put him on his medical team.
Well, Phil loves to throw that at me all the time, where that Fauci said don't wear a mask early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Fauci, however, his whole thing was that he just didn't want to get people suddenly. They had enough problems with the PPE. They didn't want worse problems because all of a sudden everybody was running out and buying masks.
Right.
But you would think in
we.
all of this somebody would have come out with better technology for masks, But nothing really works better than this little thing,
Yeah.
And you would have thought
they make that out of used diapers, right?
That's right. That's right. And they're also known as a chin napkin.
That's right. That's right.
Because people wear.
I love when people wear it like that to protect their chin. Reminds me of some of the idiots I used to work with.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, how bad was it today in the country, Charlie? Is it the worst day yet, or are we getting a little bit?
It was 218,000 cases today. We've been averaging over 200,000 cases a day for the past
Horrible.
week.
That's horrible.
And
we passed 15 million.
All it would take was for people to
282,000, I think, have died. Something like that.
Yeah, are we up at 280,000?
Over that.
I mean,
I heard 282.
What I heard was
286.
before Biden becomes president, that will be up to 400,000 dead.
Probably right.
You know,
over 300,000 by Christmas.
Yep. I mean, we're getting close to. If we get to 400,000, we're about 100,000 away from all the people that died in World War II.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. I just wish people would do what they got to do, and let's get this over and done with. You know, even if we have the vaccine, that's not immediately going to turn things around. We've got to hit at least 75% before it is effective in the country, and
herd immunity.
Some kind of herd immunity. And the fact is that when they polled people and asked them if they would use it, only about 50% say they would use the vaccine.
Yeah.
And yet the vaccine, it's not they're not shooting you up with the COVID. What they call it? It's some kind of a device where it lets your body know you have COVID and then creates an antibody for it.
RNA.
What'd you say, Brian? Because Brian's company makes this little device, which is
like Alan's saying, it's RNA technology, and it's a part of the strand of COVID that they put in you.
But it's not COVID.
With other stuff, it's not COVID.
They say the worst that happens is you have a flu-like symptoms for a couple of days. That's the worst that happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen at all. But Patrick, if offered the shot, would you take it?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Good boy. Okay.
Yeah, but I get all my vaccines. I'm not one of those goofy anti-vaxxer people.
No,
so,
yeah. Who was that woman, that actress?
Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy.
Oh.
By the way, she's employed by SiriusXM. Let me just mention that. This woman, I mean, she's, I think, responsible for the death of little kids.
Yeah.
Because of her whole anti-vaxxing thing. And now, the latest anti-vaxxing stuff about, the COVID vaccine is that it has a chip in it where they can follow you around. Okay. There's also another chip you have. It's in your cell phone. They can follow you around.
There it is.
Hello.
Yeah. But I mean, all these rumors and stuff that start and how, you can't do it and it's going to be terrible. Hey, folks, if we just all take it, if we all get it, goodbye, no more COVID. Okay, it's gone. We're going to have to worry about the next thing that comes along and how we're going to start working to prevent that one from happening. But, we won't have to worry about this.
Well, I was hearing tonight that this vaccine they've actually been working on for 17 years.
Yeah.
In fact,
one
of the doctors that was involved in its creation works at the doctors building that I go to in Princeton. And they've been working on it for 17 years. They didn't know specifically that it would be this strain of COVID, but they were going after what they call spike protein viruses.
Yeah.
Have been since before SARS.
And when this came along, they said, let's try it on this and see if it works.
They had a baseline to work from, in effect. So
the other thing is that, and I'm sure Phil would probably say this, that the flu came from China. It's the Chinese flu. It's the China flu.
We got to call it the Trump flu.
Yeah, the China flu. And the fact is, they have found that they were doing tests back, I think in October for something else, and they were taking blood samples. So they just recently went back and looked at those blood samples, and guess what they found in the blood samples? COVID. So it didn't come from China. It came from somewhere.
Absolutely, the Trump flu.
The Trump flu. It's the Trump flu.
The Trump flu. Since he screwed it up so badly, he deserves the naming right.
So why, if he screwed up so badly, did you vote for him?
Well, you know, who knew that he was going to turn into the idiot that he is?
You mean the idiot after the election now?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
You know what? I've had a handful of friends that used to disagree with me on Facebook about Trump. They said the exact same thing. They said they're tired of they're tired of all this now. They say, you know, especially after all the election stuff that's just gone off.
I
off
agree
the
with
rails
you,
now.
Brian. We ought to give him naming rights to the flu.
Well, they want to name the vaccine. Some of you want to name the vaccine after him. Call it the Trump vaccine. That I don't think is a great idea.
They put him on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. So anyway, what other things can we talk about? You know, it's always, we don't have to talk about the same thing all the time. And I'm wondering, once Biden becomes president, then what are we going to talk about at all? You know.
Jeff has show and tell.
Well, no, what I like about our Monday show is we just talk about stuff, right? You know, like how's the weather where you are? And, what is that you're holding up?
It's not Monday?
What is that you're holding up, Jeff?
This is a good chip. You see, you guys are worried about having a chip.
Yeah.
This is a real chip.
Is that the thing you've got implanted in you? What is that, a spare you keep around the house just in case the other one falls out or something? Or
In case.
you helped develop that, right?
This one, not too. Let's see. I got to look at the name on it. No.
Okay.
But anyway, they gave me this. It was one of the bad ones or whatever.
Do you feel that inside you?
That's an imitation prostate, isn't it?
I put my finger right there. I can feel it. Sure.
Really? Oh, okay.
And it's that big, you know.
And it also sends signals to your phone, and your phone calls the hospital and tells them how your heart's doing.
That's right.
And you don't have to do anything. It just does it all on its own.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. How long are the batteries good for?
Long time.
I mean, what's
That's
long
what
time?
I thought.
Long time.
There you go.
10,
Huh?
15 years.
10, 15 years, the battery?
Mine's good for 5 years or 10 years. Yeah.
Well, you have
Your iPhone and iWatch will send
signals
stuff to the doctor too.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Kevin, you're talking about the thing they put in your back, right?
Yeah, stimulator.
Stimulator. And
Spinal cord stimulator.
Right.
So what happens at the end of 10 years if, let's say, you get a notification, replace your batteries? You go in and they replace
cut you open and put a new one in. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
iWatch is the way to go.
Yeah, the way they implant the iWatch in you. That's what
No,
should do.
you wear the iWatch.
I see. Well, I have my iWatch here, and it isn't even charged yet. What's the problem with that?
Well, you need the newest model, Alex.
The newest model? You know, I've gotten to the point where they come out with a new watch, Apple Watch. They come out with a new iPad. They come out with a new iPhone. And I've gotten to the point where I'm going, do I really need a new one? You know, I mean, my phone just works just fine, and I don't know what the new one will do. Oh, yes, it does 5G now. So
This is the new laptop. This is the new laptop they gave me at work.
Yeah.
And what happens is it goes all the way around, and now it's an iPad.
Tablet.
But it's not a Mac. It's not Apple.
It's not an Apple, yeah.
That's an HP. It's the HP new Slim.
Yeah.
So now, and I have a pen so I can write my notes, and it'll send an email through my notes.
That's neat.
Yeah.
And you have it back as your.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
My
work pays for it. So
I also the Macs now.
By Hewlett Packard. Wow, clever.
The Macs have come out with a new chip, and supposedly this new chip is really incredible. It takes like a mini Mac and turns it into just a powerhouse. You know, but I mean, come on. I'm getting to the point where I'm just going, do I really need a new watch? Do I really need a new phone? I mean, this phone this month will be paid off. Okay? Do I really need to run out and buy another new one?
Yes, you will.
I know what you're saying because I am an asshole that way. Let's see here. Phil just sent me a message.
Well, you just lease them.
Alan wants to get in. He is in the waiting room. Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
Yeah. So he's vouching for you, Alan.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're allowed on the show.
Thank you.
Who
was vouching for me? Raise your hand so I can see. Or a foot or something.
Yeah. Patrick, what have you been watching lately? Let's get to something simple. What are you watching lately?
Nothing. Just I've been watching movies. I watched Tor because apparently our fucking country is starting to forget things like Pearl Harbor.
We all do. We always do. That's the problem. We've always had that problem.
So I've been watching things like that. There's nothing on TV to watch. I don't have Netflix. I don't have any of that streaming shit. I won't pay for it. So I got regular cable. I watch evening news at 10 o'clock, and
yeah,
that's about it. I do mostly reading and that. So
yeah. Well, what did we watch? Oh, you only watched. You ever hear of this movie Tenet? This was done by what's his name? Who did the Batman films, and it was he would only release it to the theaters. He wouldn't sell
Trump Jr.
No, he what's his name? God, why am I just out of it? I can't remember names. Are you kidding me? Hold on.
Welcome to your 60s, Alex.
No, welcome my 60s.
60s.
God, you're making me young.
That's what I am in my 60s.
Well, I'm in
going.
I'm in my 80s. Okay. Tenet, directed by what's his name? Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
I didn't even have to see it. Once I looked for it, I was Christopher Nolan.
Oh, well, thank you. Raise your hand so I can see who's talking.
Yeah. Whoever's lit up, whoever turns up with a yellow square around him is talking.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so we watched this thing tonight. We spent 2.5 hours watching Tenet. And if you ask me what it's about, I can't tell you. It just made no sense at all. Has anybody seen this picture?
No.
He wouldn't release it.
That's my new time. Learning how to use Zoom.
He wouldn't sell it on how like they're selling stuff now on pay-per-view for cable and so on. He wouldn't go that route. He wanted it in the theaters where people could get infected and everything else. So nobody went to see the goddamn movie. So I figured I'd watch it and see what the hell it was about. Oh. Terrible. It just makes no sense at all. And then the other thing I was watching was The Godfather Coda. He took Godfather 3, took away the 3, put the name Coda on it, and it is a recut of Godfather 3, which, as we all remember, was god-awful, right? Oh, you don't know, Robert. Well, you didn't see it. Anybody here see Godfather 3?
Yeah.
It was terrible. Will you agree with me, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went in and re-edited it, and guess what? We only watched about a half hour of it so far, and it's just as bad as the original. It's amazing how
called?
You know.
What's the movie called?
Godfather Coda.
Oh.
CODA instead of Godfather 3.
Godfather Dakota.
It's the Godfather 3 re-edited. To begin with, he can't make his daughter's acting any better than it was. I'm waiting to see what he does with the rest of it. Just see if it changes. It hasn't. Not much has changed. Okay, he did shorten it. That may be one of the things he did that was okay. But that's what I'm watching, Patrick. So if you care to join me.
Well, I saw the trailer for it, you know, and it, what is it, Coda, the death of Michael Corleone.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, I'll watch it. Eventually I'll see it, but I'm not expecting anything other than what I've already seen. And I saw 3 in the theater, and I remember during the intermission sitting there thinking, they should have just stopped at 2.
Well, here's what happened. Coppola wanted to stop at 2. He saw no reason to make a 3. And then they gave him a good reason. We're Paramount. We own the franchise. We're going to do 3. And we're going to get Sylvester Stallone to direct it.
Yeah.
And write it. And that was enough to make Coppola write and direct it. Mm-hmm. And he just did it, not even for the money. He just didn't want anybody else ruining his property, you know. And he said he never considered the third picture to be a sequel. He considered it to be a standalone picture about this guy who'd been, you know, a Don and was trying to get on with his life. But I mean, it was god awful. It was just horrible. And the edited version, a little better. You know, it improves on it, but it doesn't make you want to go back and say, okay, now I can take all 3 of them as one. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know what happens, but whenever they make a trilogy, the third one always sucks. I mean, even Star Wars, the third one sucked. When they had those Ewoks, those little teddy bears with lips, you know, I went...
We got one, he's called the President of the United States.
Yes, I understand that. Anyway, you know, and you like the Star Wars pictures, right? That's your... Patrick, that's one of your favorite things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But what did you think of the third picture? You know, Return of the Jedi.
I thought it was fine. I mean, there were parts of it I didn't like, but at least it gave an ending for Darth Vader. And I mean, you can't take that away. The Emperor. There were a lot of good things in it that overtook the shitty part. So I would say, you know, Empire is my favorite. Star Wars, the first, is my second, and then Jedi, the third.
Yeah, so. Right. But the second picture was terrific. It was just terrific. In fact, Godfather, the second picture, I almost like better than the first one. And it was, I think, in and of itself, a pretty perfect motion picture. And it holds a distinction. The two, Godfather and Godfather 2, hold what distinction? Do you remember? They were the only film and its sequel to both win Academy Awards for Best Picture. So that's how good it was. Or maybe how bad it was. I don't know. A lot of terrible pictures win Academy Awards, too. You know. But anyway. So, and any good TV anybody's watching? I'm trying to take this thing away from Trump. You know.
Well, you got me watching, was it Designated Survivor or whatever?
Oh, really?
Watching that.
Boy, you're late on.
Alex, what do you think about defunding the police?
Well, I don't know that defunding is what we should do. I think that we probably overfund the police. And we could pull back on that and put that money into other programs which also serve a lot of the things the police are now trying to do. In other words, when they go out to a domestic quarrel, a cop shouldn't have to go out with a gun and tear gas. What should go out is some kind of social worker who knows how to break up a family fight.
Right.
You know, so I'm not for defunding the police, but I'm for appropriating the money more wisely. Okay. It's just like I feel we spend way too much money on the military. Way too much. I mean, we spend, I think,
Cents?
something like over 50% of our tax dollars go to the military. And that we are the largest military industrial complex in the world. The second biggest is England, and only $8 out of every tax dollar goes to that, to their military service. So I think we could cut back on the military budget. I don't think we need it as much as we once did. You know, I don't think we need as many soldiers as we once had, because most of our stuff can be done by satellites and rockets and drones and things. We're fighting most of our wars with drones now as it is already. You just need some guy sitting out in Arizona in a trailer thinking he's playing a video game, you know. So, I mean, we could cut back on that.
You might be right.
And it isn't a matter of cutting back on the military's effectiveness. It's a matter of not overspending the money we spend on it, which is what we do. So that's how I feel about the police. I mean, I don't know why the police, when they come out to something tactical, look like they're stormtroopers and like they're some kind of army with tanks and everything.
All the bad guys got high-powered rifles and stuff. They got to wear stuff to protect them.
Well, they got to wear stuff to protect them, but, I mean, they're coming out there with tanks.
They're not tanks. They're armored personnel carriers.
Well, the same thing. You know.
It's not a tank.
Let me ask Patrick. Patrick, what do you think about this?
I think the more they have, the better. I mean, you know, most of the stuff is donated by the military once it's phased out, so it's not really costing any more for the taxpayers. So if they've got APCs and they've got Hummers, I mean, why shouldn't they? I mean, they're running. Look what we went through the summer with the rioting and that bullshit. I would have just started putting plows on the front of them, and as soon as motherfuckers to be in the road, just start running towards them. They'll move.
Well, then why don't, instead of paying money for that, why don't we just use snow plows?
Because they're not as armored. Because you might have some.
Wait a minute, have you seen all the metal in the front of those snow plows?
Well, yeah, but the sides of them aren't, and you can't tell me that people wouldn't try to start shooting through the sides of the vehicle. So, no, I think the police should have anything that they need, that they deem necessary. And if they're getting the shit as leftovers from the military, why not?
Robert, what's your take on this?
I worry about the police and overreach, frankly. I go back to the original point about defunding the police. I'm not in favor of defunding the police, but I am in favor of rethinking what roles the police have. I'll give you a case in point. I found about a year ago, I found a wallet outside a drugstore late at night, and it had the person's identification in it. It had money, credit cards, and the like. And I called my local police force to just ask them, what should I do? Should I reach out and make contact with the individual? Do you guys handle it? Well, before you know it, they sent 2 squad cars to my house and 4 policemen. And they started grilling me about where I found it, how much was in it when I found it. I'm not against the fact that they asked the questions. I'm not. But it struck me at that moment that this is overkill. Like, you know, we don't need police officers to speak to me to do a simple public service for somebody. You know, it seems to me that lesser individuals who are, you know, connected to my township could probably have done pretty much the same stuff. And maybe I could have learned to trust that they would see to it that, well, instead I had 4 police officers on my lawn with, you know, full gear. And I thought, this seems like a waste of assets. You know, it just like why
What did they do eventually? They just take the wallet?
Eventually, they took the wallet and promised that it was going to get to the individual in question, which I probably could have done myself. But I didn't want to reach out to this individual cold because I was afraid that, you know, this person might see me as a threat of some kind, or thief, worse yet. And so I thought I'd do the right thing and call the community and ask, well, you know, what's the procedure for something like this? And before you know it, it was an international incident. And my neighbors all said, what the fuck happened to you last night? You know, they thought I got busted for something. And that's just a small example. You brought up domestics and things like that, where, you know, maybe we could rethink who gets called to do what. Maybe we don't need police to take the cat out of the
tree. You could call the ASPCA.
You use a sort of smart ass example, but you know, it's like misuse of trained individuals.
Right. Use your resources as best you possibly can.
That's all I would be a proponent of, not necessarily cutting back funding or stuff.
How about you, Steve? You've been kind of quiet. How do you feel about this whole question of defunding the police, which I think is a bad term, but
I agree with you. Allocate the money a different way.
Yeah, reappropriate, spread it around a little differently where it's the most effective. Yeah. Because the police should not be in the business of breaking up domestic spats, you know, and yet they're called out for that. They're called out for a lot of things that are just a complete waste of their time and resources. And we could then pay psychologists and social workers and so on to take up that slack. So when something like that happens, we have a domestic disturbance, you've got some people who handle domestic disturbances.
I was out of college. I was a dispatcher for New Jersey State Police, civilian dispatcher for New Jersey State Police for about a year and a half. And you'd be shocked at some of the calls that New Jersey State troopers were asked to respond to. And I used to think that, you know, there could be major accidents along our interstates that they could be helping out with, but they're doing nit-nat stuff. And I used to think, you know, why isn't this falling to people other than them, the more highly trained individuals? It used to be shocking.
Kevin, how do you feel about this whole matter?
Pretty much the same. I don't think they need to be, you know, defunded in any way, you know.
Do you think they're overfunded?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I think they just need to be retrained. I think a lot of them are, you know, coming out of the military and still think they're in the military, but I think they just need to be refocused on what they're really supposed to be doing, and probably need to, you know, be retrained.
Brian?
Some of them are just, most of them are just fine.
Brian, any
How do you retrain them?
I think one of the problems is, so I have a few friends that are CHP and SWAT and San Jose PD. And the bad, they're longtime friends. So, but I think the problem is, you know, even the good cops know who the bad cops are. And how do we get those bad cops either retrained if they're trainable or out?
And how do you get the good cops confident enough to somehow turn in the bad cops?
Yeah,
you know,
I think if you go to work, I mean, if you guys are working and you guys know who those people are at your work, people who are doing the wrong things, you know, stealing from work or lazy at work or whatever, and everybody just puts up with it, and that's how those cops are. The good cops know who those bad cops are, and they just put up with it. They just, you know, they just do whatever and they ignore it.
Just quickly, Steve.
Alex, with training.
Yeah. Okay, Steve.
Yeah, I was just going to say that maybe they should go back to having cops walking the beat like they used to.
Well, that we could get into that some night. That's one of the things I've been yelling about for years. It's very important.
Driving around in a big scary car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the only time they see the world outside is when they get out of that car, and it's usually because there's something bad going on, and it gives them
Problem
an
is,
attitude.
the beats are too big these days.
Yeah, I guess
And
you're
if
right.
they were
about
part
that,
of the,
too.
they were walking the beat, they could get
Yeah.
to know the people.
Hey, our theme is playing. That means it's time to say good night to Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Steve.
Night, Jeff.
Brian Neary, thank you. Thank you to Charlie. Always wonderful having you here. Robert, you're a delight. Alan, please call again. It's nice to have you here as part of this mix-up. And you're right
All
next in picture to Kevin, who also has a lovely beard, as do you. And finally, of course, our old friend Patrick Blazek, who when he calls always elevates the show to another level. Thank you, everybody. He looks like he has Yoda ears, by the way, because of the way he's positioned. Everybody,
One ear.
give a big wave goodbye, okay? And I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you. And that's it for tonight. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Pretty good, huh? Yeah, nice little discussion. Group of people having a good time. Anyway, that's it. We'll see you again. Let's see here tomorrow night. The sports show, the franchise MC, the arena is on at 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, and then at 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time, I'll be back again, same time, same station in life. So in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, stay safe out there and be sure you wear a mask. That would be really, really nice, not only for yourself, but your fellow person. See you tomorrow. Bye.